Today I'm going to replace the driver's side trailer light, and what I have here is a light that came with a two-piece no wire kit included. So the nice thing about that is that a lot of times you're just replacing the lights. Usually it's a backing up accident. I think that the passenger side, we backed it into a bush or something like that, and it just barely broke the seal on the lens, so it was just failing to where it was starting to get water in there. But let's say you're in a situation where you have good wires and you know that you have good wires, and you just want to slap a light in there as fast as possible. Well, this kit is definitely going to work really well for that. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to loosen the other light. It's 7/16 bolts, and so I'll go ahead and just take that loose, and just give me 1 second. So I've got the old light loose, and I want to tilt it over here and show you something. This is blue tape that has been on here, and I want to say probably for 3-4 years. And one of the things to note is that the only reason I put that blue tape on there was to hold these in place during installation. After that, I could care less, but here it still is. And I did that on the other light that I installed and did the long process where I removed everything. But with this one, we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to snap these all off just like that. Get a reasonable amount. This is going in the garbage, so don't worry about this. Now, we've got each one of these connectors are completely exposed. All this stuff is secured. We're not going to worry anything about that at all. So you see here, I've trimmed all these. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a look here, and I want these to come out the side on this light. So what's going to happen is this will be pointed out into that direction right there. We don't want them dropping down to the bottom if we don't have to. And then I'm just going to take and put a little piece of blue tape on there. Again, this blue tape is just for installation. So if it stays on there past installation, don't care. I'm going to get these in orientation to how they're coming out of the light case, so that way they're as flat as possible. So you see that right there, completely flat right there. Just line it up, get that on there, and boom, done. Now set that right there because we want them in a nice convenient location. And then we're going to trim these all, so about like that. Looks really good. That was a good first shot. Sometimes it doesn't work out so good. These Klein wire strippers are absolutely awesome. They do wear out over time, and these ones are probably close to the end of their life. The adjuster, the thing that marks off the depth, it doesn't hold in place anymore. So every time I use it, it kind of moves around. All right, and same thing here. Oh, need a little more on that one. Okay, and now I'm going to twist all these off. Now what I have here is I have melting heat shrink with solder in it. So if you have a heat gun, you can hit that and they'll just melt right on there. If not, then you can use a lighter, which is what I'm going to do today because that's probably what most of you are going to do. The only downside to the lighter is it is a little breezy out here today, and so that'll make it take about twice as long as normal. So we're going to slide all of these on there. And this process cannot be any easier. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take each wire and go about half. I'm going to try to see if we can get this on the camera here. Typically the first one or two, it's hard because there's stuff in the way. And you'll have to excuse the cars. There's nothing I can do about that. I live on the freeway, so. What you want is for those sharp pokey ends to be buried as much as possible, because you don't want them to perforate. Okay, so now I've twisted that in, kind of rolled it as much as I can. Use the pliers if you really want to be sure of it. And then we want to slide this over, and the red line needs to touch both white wires. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and repeat that for the yellow. Okay. All right, now, before I install the light, I'm going to do a light test. So I'll be right back. So we're back, and that light looks like it's working great. You've got your tails and your blinkers. So I'm going to lay that to the side, and then I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to match those studs to what it was before. You don't necessarily need to do that. You can just kind of fit whatever your trailer is, but I find it easier just to match the old light. Okay, and get that in there snug. If you want to, you can put 2 nuts on there and use a wrench and snug them down, but I don't think it's necessary, and you also run the risk of breaking the plastic. Feels good. Now there is a ground wire on here. I add extra grounds to every one of my trailer connections, and you'll see it right here. I call it an insurance policy. So the first thing I do is I put the nut on that one and then just leave it, because this one over here is harder because of this flange right here. So you do this one, you get a little push on this thing after you get those both down there, and then you can get them seated really good by hand. And then this is a 10 going on. On the other one, it was a 7/16. All right, there's a couple things we can do here. In my case, I'm just going to take these and I'm going to tuck them up into the grommet. Can see that I have some stuff zip tied here. You could also include that, but I don't want any more stuff out there at this point, and I just wanted to make sure that we got the quickest, easiest installation for you. So check this out. This is easy to do. You can do it. Thanks for watching.